Welcome to the Celebrating Women podcast, co-hosted by Mandee Montana and Ashley Fisher, a podcast that celebrates women, their issues, their thoughts, their lives, conversations that celebrate their gifts, their talents, their courage. It's the Celebrating Women podcast. Presented by Hand & Stone Massage and Facial Spa in Tyler, Texas. Hey, it's Mandee Montana, and everyone knows the importance of staying hydrated, right? I'm always telling you to drink your water. But did you know your skin needs that hydration too? Oh, yes. Chelsea Everett, the lead esthetician at Hand & Stone Massage and Facial Spa in Tyler, is here to talk a little bit about that today.
So you do want to moisturize, of course, morning and night. I always tell my clients to apply your leave-on products by consistency. So thinnest to thickest, the only difference in that is your sunscreen is always going to be last. So you'll start with your toners, your corrective serums, then your hydrating serums, and then you'll go in with your moisturizer after that. I always recommend putting moisturizer on while your skin is a little damp, so that we can really make sure that we're pushing that water into the skin. The moisturizer will also absorb that water and push that back into the skin too.
Chelsea, thank you so much. See how the skincare professionals can help you look and feel your best at Hand & Stone in Tyler today. Stop by and make your appointment in the Cumberland Shopping Center or online at handandstonetyler.com.
Welcome back to the Celebrating Women podcast. I am Ashley Fisher.
I'm Mandee Montana, and we have a very special guest today, Casi Caton, founder and owner of Her Network.
Hello. Thanks for having me on.
We're so excited to have you here. I know you and I have been communicating a lot for probably several months now, trying to get our schedules aligned. I'm the problem. The problem is me.
It's me. Hi. Sorry.
Yes. Thank you. If I could sing, I would have done it, but you really don't want to hear that. We'll listen to Ashley instead. But Casi, we're just thrilled to have you here because we want you to talk about Her Network and what it's all about, because the little bit of interaction I've had with it has been wonderful. And I feel like it brings so much value to our listeners and to Ashley and I. I would love for us to find a way to be more involved with you. So tell us a little bit about Her Network and how you got it started.
Yeah, I would love to. So Her Network, off the cuff, it stands for Help Each Other Rise Network. And we are a group of hardworking ladies who like to work hard. A lot of us are business owners, but not everybody is. If you are looking for just like a supportive community that uses our time very wisely, I coordinate events that are for personal and professional development in some entity. So there's always some kind of goodness and worth of time, definitely, of being involved and attending the events.
So like networking with purpose.
Yes.
I love that.
That sounds good.
It sounds amazing.
Yeah.
So you're based here in Tyler?
I am. So Tyler's the headquarters for now. You know, we're always thinking bigger.
Yes. Yes.
So we've been growing a team these last few months, which has been wonderful to see. Started just me for the first year and a half. So this is just rounding out this month 2 years.
Yeah.
Super exciting. June will be 2 years of LLC officially, and, you know, all those other milestones. November, first website anniversary of 2 years. You know, so
That's awesome.
lots of fun milestones throughout the year. Really able to see the growth and the excitement, and you feel the momentum, you know. A lot of people who own businesses know that year 2 to 3 is about when things do finally start to pick up, and all the work you start seeing, not payback necessarily, but you start seeing things coming in, you know, and then more opportunities. And it's a group made to support like the hard journey that is being an entrepreneur or somebody who is passionate in their field and just wants to always look for new opportunities and connections. So it's been a lot of fun. I mean, we're doing stuff every single week. On Fridays, we power walk at 10:15, sometimes mall walking if the weather's bad, you know, but we get together then. And so starting from the first of the month, Monday night, we do book club, the first Monday of the month. And it's the book club where you don't have to read the book.
That's my kind of book club.
Yes, exactly.
We have
So
Spark
it's like,
notes.
yeah, we're realistic. We know that as much as we want to learn and educate and read these books, we don't always have the time. So we get together for an hour downtown Tyler, and I lead the discussion. I have highlights. Maybe it's not whole highlights through the book, but it's things that picked up to me, and I lead the discussion. We have conversation, and I drop the next book, you know, that we're going to talk about and do. Taco Tuesdays are always popular. We've been doing these since I started, and they're the second Tuesdays of every month. We meet same place, same time, and anybody, non-member, so backtrack a tiny bit, Her Network is membership-based.
Okay.
But you don't have to be a member to be a part of, like, the Taco Tuesdays or the walks that we do every week. But also, kind of going down to the next week, the She Speaks Business accountability meetings. These are where we do worksheets. Sometimes we'll have guest speakers, lots of education. We do monthly reflection pages. You know, like we get to work in these times, and we'll have lunch too. We meet at Connections Cafe at Green Acres. So again, using our time wisely, people need to eat, and you can dual that with being busy and productive. And I check in once a month between, you know, our meetings, say, hey, how's this goal that you were doing and wrote down? How's that going? Just a friendly check-in, not trying to be, oh, you better do it, or, you know.
Right, yeah.
But like in the nice friend check-in kind of, hey, tough love, you said this.
Friendly accountability
yes,
there. Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
It's like everybody needs it. We're 1099s, a lot of us are business owners, so it's hard to hold yourself accountable all the time.
Truly.
So it's nice just having like that group that's with you to be able to be like, oh, you shared this. How is it going, actually?
Full disclosure, Mandee was late today. Mandee's also had some technical challenges today. So yes, friendly accountability is very helpful. Thank you for being my accountability partner.
Grace, my friend.
Yes, and I'm very thankful for your grace.
We understand it's hard.
Oh, listen, because, you know, we were just talking about all of there's so many stories of like pitfalls and just things that you don't account for when you start a business, that I love knowing that there is an entity out there that's helping women, you know, kind of say, hey, like I made this mistake. Here's how you don't have to, or save them that time, save them that headache, that heartache, or give them the resources, because there's so many people out there that they'd love to, that the idea of starting a business sounds fantastic, but where to start? And then once they get into it, what about taxes, or what about health insurance?
What about taxes?
There's a whole financial aspect leading into tax season.
But knowing that there's something out there to kind of help you navigate that while networking with other women who are in it too. I mean, hello, that's fantastic. I think that's amazing.
What's the best way to kind of get your feet wet with her network and kind of dip your toe in the water and say, okay, is this something that I want to pursue as a membership? I know you mentioned there are ways to connect without being a member.
Yeah, I would suggest Taco Tuesday.
Okay.
If you're just looking to dip your toe in, see maybe what it's about. That is the most relaxed that we get, minus our walk. But we still kind of go over, like I always have a question for the table. And I go around and do introductions so everybody is able to still, you know, get that FaceTime while we're at like a lunch table situation. So I would say Taco Tuesdays, definitely look into. I have a website, hernetworkllc.com, Facebook page, Facebook group, my personal page, there's an Instagram.
So where and when is Taco Tuesday?
So it is that second Tuesday, every second Tuesday of the month, 11:30 to 1 at Hobbies.
Oh, yum. We love Hobbies.
It's always good.
Where do we find you? So if we show up at 11:30 at Hobbies on the second Tuesday, do we just let the hostess know we're there for Her Network's Taco Tuesday?
Yep, that's it.
So simple.
So simple.
Done.
I mean, okay,
Right?
no
It's
excuses.
just once
Put it
a
on the
month.
calendar.
Yep.
Just put it on there.
That's the key, right? I mean, that's one of those friendly accountability things you're talking about. Like if it's not on the calendar, it's probably not gonna happen.
Right.
No.
And I actually dropped the calendar. So if you find our Facebook page or our website, like the events are on there with the links.
Oh,
And
that's so helpful.
I try to make Facebook events as well. You know, you can make it a separate thing to where it can pop up on searches more and whatnot. People can say going. But I would say the website's the best source.
Comprehensive information.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So someone who their ears are perked up and they're like, okay. So other than tacos and books and the worksheets, I know that you provide a lot of opportunities for education. Can you give like a little sampling of like in the next few months, maybe some things that are coming out?
Totally. So every month I coordinate and collaborate with a business owner or two for an event in town. Sometimes we have several involved. Like in February, we did our Her Heart's Anthem, which was a workshop style self-love event. I had 3 keynote speakers, 2 of which were authors. One's a coach, one's a multi-business owner and mom, you know, so it's like all their different lives and aspects. So that was one style event. Like I said, I do personal and professional development in some way. There are 2 different tiers of membership. One's just $15. One is $35. The $35, you actually get 2 mini marketing sessions a year being a member of the elite executive level. And I know all the business boss babe words.
They're important words, so we need to hear them.
Identifying who you are, being a part of
Yeah.
this group. So you'll get to go into Nori Narshia Photography Studio, schedule with her, get 10 of her images, and then you'll meet with Casi McKenna and I. Casi McKenna Marketing is her business, Casi Caton. And we'll do the 3 media clips where
That's
you'll be able to use
amazing.
it for your marketing and
That is
also
so
ours.
valuable,
to
y'all.
highlight you.
That
Keep
right
that media
there,
fresh.
that right there is
Yeah.
worth far beyond worth like the membership fees. Like, good gravy.
Oh, we valued it out. I think my membership is technically less than $500 for sure for the year, and these values, just the marketing sessions, a piece, over $2,000.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So
Much less the
Yeah.
plenty of opportunities.
Yes.
No excuse at this point. But yeah, so there are different percents off. The higher tier, you'll get 100% off of these smaller events. If we do a huge workshop or the Her Safety Women's Self-Defense courses, you'll get a big chunk off. But
Yeah.
sometimes I'm partnering with, Freedom Defense, where their funds go towards good things and causes.
Yes.
So
Yes.
we
Yeah.
have different arrangements and partnerships depending on who we're partnering with that month.
That makes so much sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this
Yeah.
month going to be at Pierce Equestrian. So that'll be on a Saturday. It's going to be in the evening, and
Okay.
we're going to have tea party kind of set up and education talking about really focusing on the networking and how to be purposeful with your weekly to-dos and actions.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's going to be a really fun kind of
Will
night
there be
and evening.
horses?
They will. I mean, we'll be in the stables. Yeah,
Okay, cool.
we'll be amongst all the beautiful horses. I've gotten to go out into her space, and she's even like given me a lesson, like riding
Oh, that's
lesson
so
out there.
kind.
Love Amanda to pieces. Can't wait for that one. And then May, I'm not going to go much further out than that, even though we've got booked out through October, which is so exciting. So if anybody wants to coordinate and collaborate while we're on it, contact me. I was like, I'll be sharing my info with you guys.
Yeah.
Again, the website, media, phone number is the best way to chat and get in touch. But yeah, May 10th is going to be our first Realtors specific edition of Her Safety. So again, partnering with Freedom Defense Training, Women's Self-Defense
amazing.
course. We always
It's
say
needed.
3 hours, but honestly, we're there like 4.
Okay.
We
Yeah,
stay
but
as long
that's
as people have questions.
So worth it. I have so many friends who are realtors, and I know in talking with them, they've run into some kind of dicey situations at times, and we talked about this off mic for a second. But even as a photographer, the amount of times that we walk into situations that we're meeting someone that we've never met, it's frequent, and so having that kind of it is empowering to go. All right, I'm going to know what to do should a situation arise. Like, I think that's fantastic.
Exactly. That's like the whole thing. And the biggest thing that I share, which shameless plug here, was on KLTV the other day with
Nice.
Freedom
Yay,
Defense.
look at you.
Yes. But it was so awesome because Freedom Defense were the ones who were reached out to, and they opted to bring me in too, since I've been partnering with them. So got the
That's
business
nice.
mentioned, because it was Women's History Month, they were doing highlights on women's safety and defense, et cetera. And that, what you just said, was a huge aspect of why we do what we do, just situational awareness. Because once you've taken a few classes, it is not a one class and done. But you got to start and do, like, I've been about 5 now, and now I'm like, I feel safe walking my neighborhood at night.
I've got eyes in the back of my head.
It's like, not that I'm going to,
And
but
my keys between my fingers. That's what my dad always told me. Baby.
there are like little tools like Cue Vuitton. I butcher the pronounce, but Cue Vuitton. It's like a keychain dagger kind of situation. There is pepper spray, and something Haley Mosley, the trainer who always leads ours, mentions is, okay, having it is great. It's a great first step.
Did you know how to use
need
it?
to practice it and use it, because if you're adrenaline, if you're in the moment, and you're like, sometimes those caps are hard to get off, or
Yes.
however you
Yeah.
need to maneuver your tool. Yeah. So being able to be aware, and like you said, this is for realtors, but photographers. Like, anytime you're in a situation where maybe you're showing a house or meeting on a location you're not familiar with, etc. Like, there's a lot you need to be aware
There
of.
have just been times, I think you just have to be smart. But there have been times when, first of all, I think I don't know, you can get a feel, but if it's a single person, usually there have been times where I've been like, hey, babe, you want to ride in the car with me? And just sit in the car while I, just to have extra eyes, and that kind of thing. So I think that's fantastic. All of the resources and education that you're working so hard to provide for all of these women and their businesses. And I'm curious if you have pinpointed, is there a particular area or a particular misconception in business that you run into a lot, like over and over again with these women that they kind of come up with?
Oh, that's a great question. Some misconceptions would be this isn't just a networking group. It's not just like a come and go drop in. I'm very much somebody who we've got a start time. So, like if you're late, still please come.
Yeah.
But don't be in that mindset where, oh, it's from this time to this time. I'm going to
Pop in for 5 minutes.
Because
Drop
we
my
do
business
have
card in a bowl and take off.
Yeah, we've got a system. We've got a schedule, crazy itinerary, different items lined up and a layout. And maybe that's my control freakiness needing to be in charge there. But I think it's important to have
It's
a structure.
purposeful.
Yes.
Yeah, you're purposeful with your time.
Yes.
And that's what you're encouraging people to do. So you're not just, you're walking the walk. You're being purposeful with your time and making sure that they're getting value.
Yeah.
And obviously there's value in just connecting with someone that you meet. I think there's a ton of value in making connections. But there's also value in connecting with someone that you meet and learning something new at the same time and having that shared experience, because then you have a new friend to talk to about it. So there's, I really enjoyed the one event that I've attended, and it's just my fault that I haven't made it a priority to calendar things in. It's been a busy season. Yeah. That's an excuse that I'm going to rectify. But Cassie, I'm excited that you're doing this here in Tyler. You're not from here though, right?
No, I'm not.
So what brought you to Tyler?
So about 3 years ago, 3 and some now, November was 3 years, I made my way from Arkansas.
Okay.
I am an Arkansas girl, Arkansan. Like, Texans, don't come at me. It's okay. We mean no harm.
Welcome.
No harm.
But yeah, I'm from the mountains. I grew up in Northwest Arkansas. Dad was a football coach. We kind of hopped around quite a bit, different school districts, etc. So that's one thing. And we grew up Church of Christ, so we would always like get plugged in church, youth groups, etc. So that honestly is where a lot of the connection, which we'll kind of get into more of the inspiration with her network too here in a minute, but that's where some of it comes from too, and the connection aspect is of deeper connection is the church and kind of our small group mentality and camps, retreats, etc.
And moving around where you're needing to make new friends, right?
Yeah. It's like a do or die in school if you're transferring.
Right.
And then if you don't raise your hand and ask a question, you're screwed. So I got over that real quick with just being okay, like you were with being okay with talking.
At the table with men.
Yes.
Yes.
I was like, we had that chat
Yes.
off mic. So along those lines, just we hopped around. I was in a lot of different schools. Went to college in Arkansas at Harding University. And then I ended up working in Fort Smith, Arkansas at the Regional Art Museum after school. So I was there. COVID happened while I was working in the arts.
Oh, okay.
So COVID year, a lot of people moved, a lot of people changed situations. I was not exempt to that. So museum shut down, arts weren't needed, quote unquote.
Ugh, I'm sorry.
I was like, I'm sorry, do y'all not realize the arts and history are the same?
Right.
Sing it, sister.
Right.
So
Art history was my favorite class in college.
I'm
I took
like,
2 semesters. I fell in love.
art documents history. It's literally
Yes,
the
it
same.
does. It does. It tells the story.
Shutting down the art museum was wonderful.
I'm so sorry.
But we went part-time, quote unquote, doing things online. Again, I was the youngest there by like 20 something years. And
That's hard.
People trying to learn media and online. No, it just did not work
a lot of
out.
pressure.
At that time, I started working this was like 3 months that happened before moving this way. I was an executive assistant for a business owner. She had a hair extension company, salon there in the town, etc. Sometimes you get a job and you think it's going to be one way and then it's not.
Yes.
So in hindsight, like I was let go from that job, but I wouldn't have quit. So it
You're
was
not one
the
of
right
those-
thing.
yeah.
It was
But
the right
you
move.
signed on to be something and...
Yeah, I was supposed to be using my degree, project manager kind of work, graphic design kind of things, and I ended up being a janitor for the salon, basically.
Well, there you go.
Sweeping up hair, using that VA.
Using that.
So
We've all been there.
Yes. Yes.
So we parted ways. So I was limbo for maybe 2 months after that, working like house sitting, childcare, dog sitting, etc. And then my grandpa had passed the week the world shut down. Like,
Oh, wow.
right, like the day or two before. So his service, we had to do just family and then stream, which was
Yeah,
the wildest thing.
so
That was
odd.
like a call made the night before.
Yeah.
So it was just weird. Just anyway, so my grandmother is down here in East Texas in Tyler. She had been living alone for a few months after that had happened. So I just called her one day, asked her how she would feel if I came and moved in and lived in with her. So she's really fun. She's real stubborn. Her name's Dixie Anna. Born on a farm, middle of nowhere, Tennessee, kind of thing.
Okay.
She is now will be 93 this June.
Wow.
So I moved in when she was turning 90, kind of thing, you know. So she said, I think that'd be okay. So that's kind of what brought me down here, work
Nice.
between opportunities, etc. But yeah, it felt like a good move, good time. So I've been roommates with Grandma for
Aww.
about
How
3 and some
precious.
years. Yeah, I was like, I'm never
Amazing.
gonna regret this time.
No.
No, you
she's my
won't.
last
Special.
grandmother, last one. So yeah, she's been awesome. It's gonna be an interesting transition with marriage and stuff later. But that's kind of what got me down here in the first place. I was subbing in schools once I got down here.
Ashley's eyebrows just went through.
During
I
COVID.
hated subbing. I hated
I had
subbing.
work every day.
Yeah.
I was K through 12.
Yep, that call at 5:30 in the morning.
Luckily, I did Chandler Brownsboro
Okay.
district. I did not do
Okay.
Tyler. Tyler
Yeah.
was big for me. I'm like, I don't want the big schools. I like the small. Plus, at the time, my mom was PE teacher at Chandler Elementary.
Oh, okay.
And my dad was football coach at the high school in Brownsboro.
Nice. Okay.
So, I was
Yeah.
always the kid who was friends with the teachers because parents were teachers.
That makes sense.
Hang out with the older people just all the time. So, subbed, found health insurance, did health insurance for about 3 years, technically still licensed for the next 2 until I decide what I want to do with that. Did more sales training than I ever thought I would in my lifetime in those 3 years, but learned so much. I bring a lot of that into her. So that's kind of like timeline of me getting here. And
So what's the genesis of her? How did you transition? Did you see a need of some kind when you were working in the health insurance field?
oh yeah, so health insurance, I was a big networker. In the art museum too, I was a big community involvement, had my hands in like our homeschool to gala to lectures, etc. Anything that was to do with it in community. So that kind of brought pieces. And then health insurance, like I said, big networker. I'd fill my calendar with everything going on in town. Not to diss on those groups at all. I love them. I still participate, love to partner, etc. But it was very much come and go. Just pop in. Hey, how are you? Good, great to see you. How's work? We've all had that conversation.
Yes.
And then it's like, okay, great. Oh, I see so-and-so. I'm going to go say hi to them. That's fine. But I want to like have friendships. I don't know the
deeper.
town. I
Yeah.
don't know the people. Yeah. So it was very surface level. And I was like, where's all the ladies?
Yeah.
I was like, where's all the girls? Where's all the women like me who are businesswomen? Like, where are they? I knew there had to be some somewhere. And I've actually been really crazy surprised on how many now after opening the gates and really focusing on that. The resources, the Facebook groups, just trying to go to all the women events and connect. It's just been really awesome.
Well, your timing, I think, is really advantageous in a lot of ways because there's a lot of women transitioning. I think COVID created a lot of challenges. It also created some opportunities. And I think people sort of introspected and said, is this really what I want to do with 8 hours of my day? Do I really want to go to this place where I don't feel valued? Or, I'm contributing to the success of a corporation that I'm not
Exactly.
really feel like I'm contributing to the world, maybe.
And maybe the atmosphere isn't great.
Yes, it could be a toxic environment. I think it was a really interesting time for a lot of people to take a look at that and go, oh, what do I actually want?
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people that have stepped out from being an employee into an entrepreneur. And it's nice to know that there's a place where there's community and empathy for that. because it's needed. It's a tough journey.
Yeah.
It's a real change. I mean, Ashley and I've both experienced it. A lot of the ladies that we've had on the podcast, a fair amount have gone from employee or in the classroom.
And then facing the challenges of being
an entrepreneur.
self-employed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And all the things that come with that,
Yeah.
you know?
It's like it all falls back on you. No matter what, it's your name on the LLC or whatever paperwork y'all you submitted. The community aspect is like, yes, we do education. Yes, we give you tools. Yes, we do things for you with media and getting exposure and connections. But the community is like the baseline of it because maybe you are working for a business, but you have a side passion. Like that business isn't your passion, what you're doing every day.
It's paying the bills right now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But I want to give that security platform encouragement for women to take that leap. Like health insurance, I'll still educate. Like if people ask me, I'm like, yeah, here's kind of the guidelines. Here's what you need to know kind of stuff. And I'll direct them to my trusted people that are day-to-day working it right now. But taking that fear away from being like working for somebody, not having insurance offered to you anymore. There are options out there. I'll say that close to the mic. There are options out there. Don't let that be the fear holding you back from starting your passion. And her network, I try to give that support community and just, I guess, giving that secure feeling to yourself. Like, hey, it's okay. Like it really is okay. Like whatever it is, it's really fine.
Yeah. Like because that you see that person over there with that business that's been doing it for a minute, she struggles with the same thing or feeling the same thing or imposter syndrome or, you know, whatever it may be.
We read books on all kinds of things too, which only help kind of gear the conversation. And once you're aware of things, it's a little bit easier.
Yeah. And I think too, like if you're thinking of starting a small business, something like this is so beneficial on so many levels. But I think a lot of people, when they start a business, it's not that they're 100% business oriented, but they're people oriented. And whatever it is that they're starting, it's something they want to do ultimately for others. So when you're networking with other women, this is an opportunity to get, you know, to collaborate with another business that can be mutually beneficial. And that's such a cool thing to be part of. You know, a big thing about celebrating women is we always want to take down the lines of competition and just, you know,
there's enough for everyone.
There really
I've had to make a post about that. Like honestly, because I liked BNI. I did BNI for a year and a half, so I feel like I can speak to it a little bit. I like their system. They've got some great things going on. Would I change some stuff? Yeah, obviously I'm not doing the same thing, but
aren't they exclusive to industry?
Very much so. Granted, there are probably there might be 20 BNI chapters. So each chapter, well, here in Tyler, it's nationwide, people. It's crazy. It is a great way to get plugged in if you know absolutely zero. And their referral system should work out the way they say, et cetera, because it's structured to only refer to that one person in your circle. Life isn't really like that.
No, it's not.
So I was like, I'd like to be more realistic. Even when I was in that, I'm like, okay, every third. I'm like, here you go. You know, and just spreading the love, sharing, trying to give everybody, you know, to rise up alongside you.
Well, and different personalities are going to connect with different people. So if you're like locked in to referring someone to that realtor might not be for everyone.
Exactly.
They're really not meant to be for everyone. That's why there are lots of realtors and photographers. You know, I mean, I have so many friends that are fabulously talented photographers, but it could be this one
different
thing.
Specific. Yeah, I ask them specific. Like, oh, I know somebody who does that.
Or it has that look.
And y'all would get along. Like knowing your people. Like they encourage the one-on-ones off a week, but it's very much like you can get penalized. You can get fined. It's very expensive to be a part of.
Is it really?
It's over, not to like spill their beans, but it's over $1,000 a year for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. A lot of factors and kind of bringing in the structure and why we're doing what we're doing.
Yeah. Well, I'm thankful that you're doing it because I too have attended a lot of networking events in the area over the years and I see value in all of them. But I'm also a personal and professional development junkie.
Yes.
And most of what I have found is online because I wasn't aware that it was available locally. I wasn't 100% aware of all the things that all the value that you added in her network. And so, like I said, it was kind of on my peripheral. And I was like, I need to look more into that, distracted by a shiny toy.
It's like, oh, what's this video?
Oh my gosh, Instagram. And 2 hours are gone.
Yeah.
But that was part of the reason I wanted to have you in here, because I knew it would be purposeful, intentional. I would get to the meat of it. I had time blocked to get to know what her network and Casi Caton are all about. And I'm excited to see all that you are doing and to get more plugged in, because I feel like it's just incredible value for women.
Yeah. And from what I've heard, you're our kind of people.
Oh,
So
thanks.
I was like, you sound on track. Like, I guess, check your list. No, you're pre-approved.
Thank you.
Do we get a card?
Yeah.
That's
We'll
fun.
see what happens.
I'm a card-carrying member
Yes.
of the Her Network. Do not mess with me.
Well, Cassie, I hope that this can be an ongoing collaboration with us, where you'll come back and update us from time to time on things that you have going and how you're growing.
Yeah.
Because we're just so in alignment, I feel like, with our missions of celebrating and elevating women
Yes.
on whatever journey they're on.
I was so excited to hear about y'all's story, and then it was your anniversary, and I got to be plugged in with some of the education, and I've got to listen to bits and pieces of some that you've done before, because I think y'all interviewed Amber Doris.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah,
And so
the day
plug
that
for
we're
Amber. She's a member. Love Amber so
Yes.
much. She got plugged in, and we got connected, and
Yeah.
she's doing a lot of cool things too.
She is, and she's got a really powerful story.
Yes.
She's overcome so much. It was such an honor. Ashley said it at the end of the episode. It was such an honor to sit here and witness her story and her telling it, because she just, throughout a myriad of struggles and bad decisions that, we all make bad decisions. She had this line of faith, that with this undercurrent of faith in her journey that was there, even though she was bumbling her way through life. And, she just never lost hold of that. And God showed up in some big ways a few times to kind of wake her up.
Yeah.
And it's just amazing what she's doing now. And I love that she's in the service industry. She's serving women, and she's helping them find their confidence and their beauty through her work.
Yeah.
And it's just such a beautiful story and transition that she's made.
Yeah.
I'm very excited for her and what she's got going on. She's wonderful. I'm trying to think of the first time we got connected, but I can't even know, because we've crossed and then just become fast friends,
Yeah.
So absolutely excited for her, and can't wait to listen to her interview.
I know. I'm
Yeah.
excited for you to hear it too. Well, Ashley, we have a few questions we like to ask kind of at the end of
These
our
are
episodes.
the hard-hitting questions. We told
Okay.
you. We warned you.
I'm ready.
Yes.
We warned you. Okay. So, what's your coffee order?
Ooh. So if I'm doing coffee at Starbucks, it's the white chocolate mochas. The hot, though, not cold. Has
Yeah.
to be hot.
Yep.
Yeah.
I've recently replaced that with a gut cleanse, which is, I love it, but it took a minute to not crave the coffee in the morning.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, I
Yeah.
love that hot coffee, but I'm doing this gut cleanse, wedding prep, trying to be healthier,
Yeah.
all the things.
All the things.
Trying to live what I tell people all the time, I guess. So yeah, just living that healthy lifestyle. But yeah, if I'm getting a coffee,
What about if you're getting a cocktail?
I'm pretty boring.
That's
I just
okay.
get lemonade and Tito's.
Yum.
That's great. That's refreshing.
It's delicious.
Yes.
And I'd like to think it has less syrup and sugar.
I'm sure it does.
Sure. Yes.
It's healthier.
I don't know. As I'm drinking my LaCroix limoncello, I don't know.
No, yeah, that's about it.
That sounds yummy.
Pretty easy.
Do you like to travel?
I love to travel.
Okay. If we were to give you a free trip anywhere, as bougie as you wanted it to be, or as basic as you wanted it to be, where would you go?
I love that question, because that's what I ask everybody too.
Really?
It's one of my questions that I love to hear about people, because I love talking about it too. If I could go anywhere, I want to do Europe. Just when I say do Europe, I mean all of it. It's like, we're going to hit Italy, we're going to hit France, we're going to hit Switzerland, we're going to hit Spain, we're going to hit Greece.
Are you going to see some art?
At least those, yeah.
Yeah.
So it'll be a great time.
Museum tour of Europe.
Every museum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We should travel together. We'd have
It's like
fun.
we'll spend 3 days in the Louvre.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like I got to travel in college. We did an art trip to the Chicago Institute.
Oh, fun.
And I spent the whole day in there. It was amazing.
Easily.
It was
Yeah.
wonderful. Yeah. Big museum gal.
Yep.
That's awesome.
That is amazing. I'm so excited to get to know you better.
Yes, me too. This is so fun. I'm so glad we got to meet today officially.
I know.
We've crossed so many times.
Yeah.
And now we're getting to chat and talk more. So yeah, this is so much fun. I'm so glad to be here.
Yeah.
The Celebrating Women podcast wants to hear from you. Email us a voice message to celebratingwomenpodcast@gmail.com. We would love to hear your story or the story of an incredible woman you know. Become part of the conversation on social media. Facebook.com/Celebrating Women Podcast. On Instagram, search Celebrating Women Podcast. The Celebrating Women Podcast has been presented by Hand and Stone Massage and Facial Spa in Tyler, Texas. Book your appointment today. Stop by the spa in Cumberland Shopping Center or online at handandstonetyler.com. The Celebrating Women Podcast is created and hosted by Mandee Montana and Ashley Fisher. Support the show for as little as $3 per month at celebratingwomenpodcast.buzzsprout.com or visit our show notes. Thank you for listening, and don't forget to subscribe to the Celebrating Women Podcast.